Dig Safely New York has a new name and new look. UDigNY. Safe digging starts here. Visit udigny.org to learn more.
Hello, and welcome to ExactTix, brought to you by Dig Safely New York. In this video, we're taking a closer look at how to utilize the regular location request. The regular location request is the most common ticket you will process for Dig Safely New York's customers. Again, this is a location request for a pending excavation project and placed between 2 full business days, but no more than 10 full business days before the intended work start date and time. Once you're in Ticket Dashboard, click on the New button under your name in the upper right-hand corner of the dashboard. After you select New, you'll be brought to the Location Request Creation screen. You will start with the Contact Information section. Excavator ID, a unique identification number assigned to an individual excavator contact. Company ID, a unique identification number assigned to a company in the ExactTix system. Office ID, a unique identification number assigned to each office within each company. Contact name, a caller's first and last name. Company name, the name of the company in which a caller is associated. Office name, the name of the office in which a caller is associated. Company type, this is a specific identification used to group a company based on the type of company or caller. This drop-down field includes excavator, homeowner, or member. Industry, this is the type of work in which the company specializes. Address 1, the mailing address for the caller or their company address. Address 2, used for P.O. box numbers, apartment numbers, or suite numbers. City, the name of the city for the caller or their company's mailing address. State, the name of the state for the caller or their company's mailing address. Zip, the zip code for the caller or their company's mailing address. Primary phone, the phone number that can be used to reach the caller. Alternate contact, additional means of contact information for the caller if there are any questions regarding the location request, and someone is unable to reach them on the primary phone number listed. Email, the email address in which Automated Positive Response, APR, will be sent for that respective location request. Contact information. From your greeting when picking up the phone call, you should already know the caller's name. You can begin the location request by verifying the spelling of the caller's first and last name and typing it into the contact name field in the contact information section. You can also ask the caller for their excavator ID number to type into the first field of the section. By typing in a caller's excavator ID, you are able to quickly populate the contact information section of the form. Please ensure that you click on the match with your mouse or keypad, or press the Enter Return key on your keyboard when the match appears. If you are populating the contact information section using the caller's name, a list of possible matches will appear as you are typing. The options include a person's excavator ID, company, and address. If your caller is a first-time caller or not in our system, please see the video on how to search and create contacts. If your caller is a homeowner, choose Homeowner from the Company Type drop-down options. This will gray out unnecessary information within the Location Request Creation form and change the excavator site contact information section next. Fill in the homeowner's first and last name, their address, and primary phone number in the respective fields. Whether you are using the form to create a location request for an existing contact, a homeowner, or a new contact, the alternate contact fields will always be blank. These fields can be filled in with other means of contacting the caller, such as a cell, email, or phone number. Simply change the type of contact using the drop-down options and type in the information, like a cell phone number that matches the type you have selected. The email field is the final field in the contact information section. This will be pre-populated based on the caller's contact information if one was selected from the system, but should be verified with the caller, as this is where their automated positive response, APR, will be sent. The pre-populated email can be changed to reflect an email of choice. If edited on the location request creation form, it will only be for the purposes of that specific location request and remain the original email in their profile. If it is a new caller or homeowner, ensure you type in an email address into their email field. Following the Contact Information section, the form will move you to the Excavator Site Contact Information section. If your caller is an excavator, there are 3 pieces of information this section addresses. These are field contacts, who the caller is doing the work for, job number. A field contact is the individual that can be contacted if there are questions related to the ticket or job site related questions. Upon clicking on the field contact text box, the Xactix system will automatically drop down a list of people associated with your caller's company that exists in the Xactix system. You can choose someone from this list or input a new contact. If you are manually entering in a field contact per the request of the caller, please ensure to verify the spelling of the person's name and include a phone number and email address. If the utility companies or their locators have any questions, the field contact is the person they will contact. Within the Xactix system, we now have the ability to enter more than one field contact on a location request. Simply click on the Add Additional Contact text under the first primary field contact entered. The system will generate the same list for you to choose from or give you the ability to manually input a new contact. If you select or type in a person and have done so in error, or your caller changes their mind on a person, make sure you click the minus symbol to the left of the name field. This will ensure you can successfully submit your location request. If you do not do this and leave the field blank after previously having information in there, you will receive an error message when trying to submit the location request. Working for. This is the person, contractor, organization, or utility company who hired your caller or their company to do the work. For example, your caller may say that they are working for National Grid, or maybe just a homeowner. If they are doing the work for a utility that is a member of Dig Safely New York, the system will generate a drop-down list of possible matches as you are typing. Use this field to type in your caller's response to the question, "Who are you doing the work for?" New to the location request form is the job number field. This is a custom field that allows the caller to better associate their jobs, projects with the respective location requests. This is an optional field for the caller. If your caller is a homeowner, there will be only 2 questions in the Excavator Site Contact Information section. The first question to ask your homeowner caller is if they are going to be doing the work. This is a yes or no question. Select the caller's answer from the drop-down options. If the homeowner is going to be doing the work themselves and you answered with yes, the next question is grayed out and you will move to the work type section of the form next. If the answer is no, you will need to ask the homeowner the second question. Who is going to be doing the work for them? As you begin typing in their answer, possible matches will appear. Click on the correct match or continue typing if the response is not in the options. Please note, for either an excavator contact or homeowner, do not put the answer self or themselves into the respective who is doing the work field. Now, we move on to the work type section of the location request creation form. Here, you enter in the type of work your caller is doing, the type of equipment they will be using, and answer 2 specific questions about drilling and explosives, as member utilities could have special processes and procedures to follow if either are taking place on a job site. In this field, you can either select from the drop-down the type of work that will be performed, or you can manually type in a response that is not listed in the options. You can access the drop-down by either clicking on the field or by typing in the first few letters of the work type stated by the caller. Make sure you select the offered type of work by clicking or pressing Enter Return on your keyboard. Please ensure to select or type in all types of work provided by the caller. Note, digging and excavation are not acceptable types of work. In this field, you can either select from the drop-down the type of equipment that will be used, or you can enter a type that is not listed in the options. You can access the drop-down by either clicking on that field or by typing in the first few letters of the equipment type the caller will be using. Make sure you select the offered type of equipment by clicking or pressing Enter Return on your keyboard. Please ensure to select or type in all types of equipment provided by the caller. Any horizontal drilling or boring being done? In this field, use the drop-down to answer whether the caller will be horizontal drilling or boring at their job site. Any explosives or blasting being used? This is also a yes or no question that is answered using a drop-down. If you answer yes to this question, a pop-up will appear asking you to confirm that the caller will be using explosives or blasting. If you click the No button on the bottom of the confirmation pop-up, the field will auto-populate to a no answer on the location request creation form. The next group of questions in the location request creation form are for the dates of your caller's job. The Dates section includes the work start date and time field, work is estimated to be completed by, location request expires if work does not start by priority ticket type. By default, the work start date and time field will be the next legal start date and the priority ticket type will be regular. A regular location request is submitted between 2 full business days and 10 business days from the date the caller plans to begin their excavation work. To change the work start date and time, use your mouse to click on the calendar icon. Move to future days by using the arrow to the right of the month. Use the arrows next to the time to change the start time of a job based on your caller's request. The system will pop up an error if you select a date beyond the 10 full business days. Click the Set button at the bottom of the calendar window once you've selected the caller's preferred start date and time. If your caller asks for a work start date and time before the 2 full business days, first legal date offered, your priority ticket type will change. Please see the following sections for information on the various ticket types, including short notice, emergency, gas emergency. Estimated work complete date. In this field, you will identify the date that your caller thinks their work will be completed. Use the calendar icon to again change the date of your estimated completion date. If you do not change this date, it will remain as the same date selected for the work start date. Location request expires if work does not start by. The third field in this section informs the caller of when location request will expire if they do not begin their work. This field cannot be edited and is impacted by the work start date and time the caller has requested. Priority ticket type. The priority ticket type field will be defaulted to regular, but you can change based on your caller's work start date and time request. The field can also be changed by using the drop-down arrow and selecting a ticket type from the options. You would want to manually choose the priority ticket type for situations like gas emergency or design request. Please see the sections on these ticket types for more information. The Site Information section of the location request form is arguably the most important aspect of the location request. In this section, you will be identifying the caller's work area on a map using one of 3 options: street address, intersection, between intersections. Let's take a look at how each of these mapping options work. The location request creation form defaults to the street address option for mapping. The state will always default to NY for New York. Dig Safely New York services all of New York State except for Long Island and New York City, which is serviced by the NY 811 call center. The next field is the county field. Begin by asking your caller what county their job site is in. Start typing in the county of the address in which the work is taking place. Once you begin typing, possible matches will populate under the field for you to choose from. If your caller does not know the county of their job site, skip to the street address field. Ask the caller for the address of the job site. As you start typing in the address, a list of potential matches will appear in the drop-down, with the closest matches being at the top. The place and county is also displayed with the address and will populate those fields when selected. Once you begin typing in the address, you will notice the list of possible matches contain the addresses within a range. Choose the option that matches the range in which the job site address exists. You may need to verify the place and county with the caller based on possible duplicate address options in the various places and counties in New York. Ensure that the place and county match the caller's expectation. Name of the city or community in which a job site address is located or associated. The place field is automatically populated based on the address street you selected in the previous step. If the address was found, you will need to select the near streets to the address. This information assists the utility locators in finding the correct job site. A list of nearest intersecting streets will be displayed once you have selected the job site address. You can read the options to the caller or have the caller tell you near streets and select from the choices. The choices also display how far in feet the street is from the address of the job site. The caller can select up to 2 nearest intersecting streets. As you're entering the job site information, the mapping process will automatically start and can be viewed in the panel to the right of the location request creation form. After you have completed filling in the required information, the dig site will be displayed in blue and the near streets in red. If you need to edit the dig site based on the caller's needs, there are manual mapping tools located on the map that you can use. Please see the Mapping Tools video for more information on each tool and how to use them. If the caller is working at an intersection, select Intersection from the Dig Site Type drop-down menu options. The next field is the County field. Begin by asking your caller what county their job site is in. Start typing in the county of the address in which the work is taking place. Once you begin typing, possible matches will populate under the field for you to choose from. If your caller does not know the county of their job site, skip to the street address field. Ask the caller for the address of the job site. As you start typing in the address, a list of potential matches will appear in the drop-down, with the closest matches being at the top. The place and county is also displayed with the address and will populate those fields when selected. You may need to verify the place and county with the caller based on possible duplicate street names in various places and counties in New York. Ensure that the place and county match the caller's expectation. Name of the city or community in which the job site address is located or associated. The place field is automatically populated based on the street you selected in the previous step. If the street was not found, then type in the name of the place associated with the caller's dig site and tab to the Cross Street field. A list of streets that intersect with the road you selected in the street address field will appear in the Cross Street field drop-down menu. Ask the caller to identify the appropriate cross street and select that cross street from the options. If the intersection in which the caller is digging is not found, a message will appear that states "Intersection not found." As you are entering the job site information, the mapping process will automatically start. After you've completed filling in the required information, the dig site will be displayed in blue. If you need to edit the dig site based on the caller's needs, there are manual mapping tools located on the map that you can use. Please see the Mapping Tools video for more information on each tool and how to use them. A caller can also define their work area by using 2 intersections. If they are working on properties or a roadway for a continuous dig, select Between Intersections from the Dig Site Type drop-down menu. You will notice the form will change so that you can identify two intersections to find the street the caller is working on. The next field is the county field. Begin by asking your caller what county their job site is in. Start typing in the county of the address in which the work is taking place. Once you begin typing, possible matches will populate under the field for you to choose from. If your caller does not know the county of their job site, skip to the street address field. Ask the caller for the address of the job site. As you start typing in the address, a list of potential matches will appear in the drop-down, with the closest matches being at the top. The place and county is also displayed with the street and will populate those fields when selected. You may need to verify the place and county with the caller based on possible duplicate street names in various places and counties in New York. Ensure that the place and county match the caller's expectation. Place: name of the city or community in which the job site address is located or associated. The place field is automatically populated based on the street you selected in the previous step. If the street was not found, then type in the name of the place associated with the caller's dig site and tab to the cross street field. A list of streets that intersect with the road you selected in the street address field will appear in the cross street field drop-down menu. Ask the caller to identify the appropriate cross street and select that cross street from the options. If the intersection in which the caller is digging is not found, a message will appear that states "Intersection not found." Once you've identified the first intersection, you will notice the county, street address, and place has been auto-populated into the second set of dig site information needed to identify the second intersection. Simply ask the caller for the second cross street to identify the second intersection. Important note: since there's a possibility that the second intersection may be located in a different place other than the first intersection, you will be required to include place information for that second intersection. Mapping: as you are entering the dig site information, the mapping process will automatically start. After you have completed filling in the required information, the dig site will be displayed in blue. If you need to edit the dig site based on the caller's needs, there are manual mapping tools located on the map that you can use. Please see the Mapping Tools video for more information on each tool and how to use them. The final section of the location request creation form is called Additional Work Information. This section collects information that may impact the locate process for the caller's job site. Are you working on both sides of the street? The both sides of the street question directly impacts the mapping and utilities notified. Based on the caller's response, select the drop-down to click Yes, No, or Unknown. If you select Yes or Unknown based on the caller's response, you will notice a highlighted blue dig site area on the map to the right of the location request creation form will increase in size to account for the work on both sides of the road. Are you working within 25 feet of the edge of the street? The edge of the street question notifies the utilities if the excavation is within the road or within 25 feet of the edge of the road. Use the drop-down box to select Yes, No, or Unknown based on the caller's response. Is the excavation site marked in white? Dig Safely New York and its member utilities recommend anyone placing a location request marks their job site in white paint and/or flags to assist the utility locators in finding the dig site on the property. Use the drop-down box to select either Yes, No, or Unknown to indicate if the dig site is marked in white based on the caller's response. If the caller states that their job site is marked in another color other than white, select No and add Job Site Marked in Insert Color in the comments field on the bottom of the form. The Locate Instructions field is where you can designate where on the property the caller is performing the work. You can either use the drop-down box to select where on the site they will be excavating, or you may type in their description. In the Depth of Excavation field, type in the approximate depth of the excavation stated by the caller by entering the number in the blank box and then using the drop-down options to select either feet, inches, yards, miles, or meters. If the caller says they are not sure or unknown, leave the depth blank. In the Site Dimension fields, type in the approximate length and width of the excavation based on the caller's response by entering the number in the blank boxes, and then using the drop-down to select either feet, inches, yards, miles, or meters. If the caller says they are not sure or unknown, leave the depth blank. The comments area of the form is used to place any additional information or instructions the caller needs to send on to the member utilities. For example, caller states that this is a gated community. The gate code to access the property is 0000. Or caller states beware of aggressive dog. Once you have verified all the information with a caller, you can click on the Save Continue button at the bottom of the form screen. You can also save the location request by clicking on the Complete button at the top right-hand corner of the screen. If at any time before you save the ticket, you want to cancel the ticket, click on the Abort Discard button at the top right-hand corner of the screen, or the Discard button at the bottom of the form screen. Once you click on the Complete or Save Continue button, your screen will open the Verify Location page. Please review the information on this page with the caller, and click on the Above Information is Correct button at the bottom. If you need to make corrections for the caller, you can click on the Back to Ticket button. Once you have verified the information is correct with the caller, you will go to the Affected Service Areas page. This page will list the member utilities that will be notified to mark or clear their lines in the area where the caller plans on excavating. The Comments field will show any information you input into that field for the caller when entering the Locate information on the Location Request Creation form. You can also add additional comments in this field if the caller thinks of additional information to add to the ticket. For homeowners and all new callers, the service areas and their utilities must be read to them. For existing excavators, you may skip reading the service areas list if the caller agrees. You can say, there are XX number of utilities being notified. Each utility must respond to your location request before you can begin your excavation work. Would you like me to read the list of utilities being notified, or just email them directly to you? If you need to review anything on the ticket with the caller again before sending the request, you can click on the Back to Ticket button. This will take you back to the main screen where you can revise the location request if necessary. When you are ready to submit the location request, then click on the Send Ticket button. After clicking on the Send Ticket button, the following screen will appear that confirms the caller's ticket has been saved and provides you with their ticket number. Read their ticket number to them. If they provided an email address for the location request, their email will appear in the field on the Ticket Saved screen. Ask the caller if they would like a copy of the ticket text in their email and check By Email box before clicking the Close or Create Another Locate Request button on the bottom of the window based on the caller's needs. If the caller has more locates to submit, then you can click on the Create Another Locate Request button. If they are done, then click on the Close button, and you'll be taken back to a screen displaying the last location request you entered. For more questions, see your internal Exactix guide or talk to the call center trainer, team leader, or call center manager.